Did you just finish The Compound? Because I did, and I want to talk about it. Welcome to Book Club, where I completely monopolise the conversation because you can't talk back. I genuinely had so much fun reading it. It was just a joy. I was enthralled. I cannot explain it. I feel like I haven't had that much fun reading a book in ages, and I thought it was so good. Let's talk about it. For the non-spoilery information, if you're watching this and you haven't read it yet, this is basically like a Love Island book. It's people who are on this reality TV show. They're on a compound. The difference between this one and Love Island is kind of mostly that they're completely isolated. The only producer interference is through these tablet screens, and they have to do all the maintenance of the compound on their own. They're basically just running themselves. The rules are slightly different on how they get kicked out and all this kind of stuff. And it's far more loose with what they're gonna show and put the people through. It's set in a future, but it's not really disclosed how far in the future it is. But I thought it was great. It's perfect for people who just really like drama in their books. I love drama. I love changing dynamics with the characters' relationships. And I also really need to have action-y plot happening. So this was the perfect book for me. Genuinely had so much fun. I will only be talking about spoilers from now on. So if you haven't read the book and you think that sounds interesting, pick it up. And for the people who've read the book, stay. So much to talk about. I don't even know where to begin, so I'm going to start at the first thing that's very obvious in the book, in that there's this huge gender divide, in that the girls are dumped into the compound first and the boys are left in the desert and they have to walk to the compound. And it's so genius from from a really messed up producer standpoint in setting up this dynamic of the girls prepping and waiting for the boys, and the boy riling the boys up as much as possible and making them feel as feral as possible by having them go out into the desert and hike and make their way there, and just letting them be attacked by dogs. We'll get to that. Because I have feelings and theories. But yeah, I love the awful setup in this huge gender divide. Also, genius move from the producers of the show, where in the very beginning, when they bring them all in, they have to then rank each other out of attractiveness, and it's just so genius. It's so evil. I love that so much. They immediately have to rank them. I thought they were going to be ranking them one by one, which I was kind of I think it's because I'm so used to maths, which is what they do with the picture challenge, which is a TV show in real life. But they had to rank them as a pack, which is so much more awful, because it's sort of this huge confirmation of all the boys think that you're ugly. All the boys think that this girl's the prettiest. And it kind of, it's just psychologically awful. So bad. And I would be one of those ones who'd be like, I don't care where they rank me. These boys mean nothing to me. And then if they rank me last, I'd still be really upset. One of my favorite things about reading this book was the fact that I personally do see myself as above the people who would be entering this fictional show. I do. I don't like that about myself, but I definitely do. Even above the viewers. I think I'm more enlightened than the people who enjoy this show. And I'm not at all, because one, love reality TV. I would be watching this. I love Big Brother. I love it so much. I did watch Love Island, but I haven't watched it since Amber won, who won with the Irish guy years and years ago at university, because I enjoyed watching it with people, and then when I stopped living with people who watch Love Island, I no longer cared about it. I like the communal activity of watching Love Island, and I like it on my own. Anyway, all that to say, I find myself falling into the traps of heteronormatism. Is that how you say it? I'm I think I'm better than everyone, and then can't pronounce heteronormativity. You know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. It doesn't you know what I'm saying. I find myself falling into the same trappings of thinking that the guys should be fixing things. Basically, I was swept up. I was swept up in it. I, for some reason, definitely did take the group's ranking of attractiveness at face value when I was listening to it. I will say that I listened to it, and I do think that sometimes affects my like critical thinking when it comes to books. I definitely get swept up when I'm listening to something compared to when I'm reading it with my eyes. I don't really, there must be a reason for that, and I'm not sure what it is. Maybe just something about reading it with my eyes activates like the, you know, English literature mode, maybe. And when I'm hearing it, it activates the like Real Housewives part of my brain that's like white noise. So what I find quite interesting that happened to me anyway was when Lily was partnered with Sam, I very much started assigning Sam this like protector role in my head, and I definitely wanted Sam to fix everything for her, and I don't know. I don't know why I did it. I do not know why I did it, because of the book, because it's just what I fall into. I don't see myself as the kind of person that thinks that way normally, but the book sweeps you up and you are fed all of this, like, you know, zany reality show things, and the men are acting all macho and the girls are acting all like they're doing the cooking and all that kind of stuff. It was one of her interactions with Tom, and I was definitely thinking the whole time, like, go get Sam, call Sam, get Sam, go get backup, go get Sam. Sam will fix it for you. And then when he wasn't fixing things for her, I was like, why aren't you fixing this for her? Sort this out. Come on. What are you doing? It was to the point that when Sam had left and Lily was in these like awful, scary situations with the boys, I was thinking like, Sam's going to hate that. Sam's going to hate that. He's going to be watching at home, even though she asked him not to. And he says he didn't. I could never. I'd be watching at home. Tom was attacking Lily in the maze. And I was thinking like, Sam's going to hate that. Lily's gonna hate it. And I never once thought about what Lily's friends would be thinking watching it. I was only thinking about what Sam would be thinking, which I thought was really interesting because their friends would be horrified. Not her friends on the outside, because it doesn't feel like she has many, but I'm blanking on their names. This is the problem when I don't have the physical book. The friends, her two closest friends, the girl that was ranked number 1, mainly, I thought she's gonna be livid. She's gonna kill Tom when he gets out. But I only thought that after the fact, not while I was listening to it. All I could think about was how Sam was gonna kill him. And Sam's not even the type. And I think it's really interesting because it did kind of turn someone who isn't really that type of person, which I'm kind of assigning to Sam, but he doesn't seem like the type of person to get into like a fist fight with someone, but he like had like a physical altercation with Tom in defense of Lily, which is the whole like environment making him into this like, you know, scary man who's gonna beat someone up over his woman, you know? I loved that, and I love that it swept me up with it because it was really fun. It was fun to be swept up and then to put on my regular person brain after the fact and be like, that was interesting. Why did I think like that? I got a little carried away. And then speaking of getting carried away, about halfway through the book, maybe not even halfway through the book, I myself thought, I'd quite like to live on the compound. That sounds quite good, which worried me. Worried me completely because it wasn't a nice time. It was before they sent the girl into the desert, which might, you know, help my case a little bit. Nothing really bad had happened to anyone yet. I wouldn't want to be on the show towards the end where they're, you know, almost dying of dehydration and blinding each other with chemical products. Like, I admit, yeah, that's not really the show for me. But when they don't even have much like stuff yet, I was like, this seems like a good time. This seems really nice, actually. So I get it. I get Lily, and I completely understand why she wants to stay there forever, because I too also feel like, what's the point? What am I doing? What's the point of doing anything and building towards anything when we're here? And I just, yeah, I do it. I do the compound if if the rule about violence wasn't lifted after they were in the final five, I'd do the compound. 100%. I've never wanted to do a reality dating show. I definitely don't see it as a dating show, I think is also the thing. I just want to hang out in the desert and swim in a pool, which I also, people use the pool in this show, great. Obviously written by someone who watches Love Island and goes, why aren't they swimming all the time? I don't think I would fare well in a reality show like that, though, because I don't eat meat, and I feel like it would make people not like me, because they'd be like, I was being so fussy, because she's not, all we've got is, like, this chicken, and she refuses to eat it. Which actually did happen, because the girl had to make her own mushroom bolognese in the beginning, and the girl said that the person who was actually cooking said she wasn't going to make her a separate one, which is my fear. That's so awful. Anyway, and I get it. But God, would it be so hard to, like, make the base and then separate it? And another thing I think that adds to the weird mindset that they all had is that they weren't allowed to talk about their jobs. So you don't get this, like, preconceived notion about who they are on the outside, and you make assumptions, but the assumptions are made on, like, their outward appearance and kind of just how they present themselves. It's all very, like, nothing like substance. Like, you don't hear anyone's, like, backstory or, like, anything deep that's happened to them in their lives. And also, I thought it was really interesting that we didn't also hear what Lily's job was until she revealed it to the group. So you yourself don't make the judgment on her that she's working in, like, a department store, a makeup counter. You assume her job is maybe different, or maybe you don't. I don't know about you. I never actually really considered what her job was, actually, now I think about it. No, I never thought about it. That's weird. I think part of me just kind of thought she was unemployed. It's also because we're kind of hazy on what's going on in the outside world. It's not really clear what jobs exist, because there's this mention of, like, a war that's happening, and it's mentioned really strangely, and I think it's also because it's reflecting Lily's, like, knowledge of the war as well, which is probably a little bit, like, not the most comprehensive. Like, she knows that her dad is there, but I'm sure she's not, like, she doesn't seem to be paying attention to politics or anything like that, and I think that's probably why we're not really told what's really going on with the war. Like, she has this thought to ask the girls if any of the girls thought that the boys had previously been in the war. It must be, like, this huge event that's going on, because I would never, like, enter a group of people and think, oh, I wonder if any of them have served in the military. Like, that's never ever been a thought that's occurred to me when I've, like, met a big group of people. So it must be this very, like, dominant thing that's happening in their society right now. And I just thought it was really interesting, and we never found out. I don't think, no, Tom wouldn't have. No, I feel like he's the kind of person that, like, fantasizes about going off to war but doesn't actually, and wants to sit in his, like, cushy job. Because he doesn't have any practical skills. I hate Tom, if you haven't figured out. Hate him. Who knows? We'll never know, I guess. I just thought it was really interesting. And I think it's maybe also, if there's, like, a higher rate of, like, violence that's going on in their world, is that maybe why the show is more violent? Because it's this cute Love Island-y show in the beginning, and then they drop the rules at the very end, and it goes a bit feral. So I'm wondering, is that partly to do with what's going on in the society at the moment, that they've maybe been so desensitized to violence that people are happy to watch the reality shows where people are strangling each other in their sleeps, because their sleep. Because I wouldn't. I love Big Brother, and I love it when they get into arguments, but I wouldn't be able to watch someone try to strangle someone else, and if they did, they'd be kicked out of the house. They wouldn't be allowed to stay. She got to stay, didn't she? Also, Tom tried to drown the girl in the pool, and he didn't. He was doing the task, but, like, he was drowning her. He was forcibly holding her under the water. She was not ready. She didn't want to be under the water. That sounds like, drowning to me. Yeah, so I just think he would have been kicked out of a normal reality show then, and that's before the rules got changed. So there has to be some change in society that's happened where people are more desensitized or craving violence more. It's like this show, we've got our world, then the compound reality show happens, and then it's like the lead up towards a show like Chain Gang All Stars, where you have prisoners fighting to the death. Like that's way over there. But it's like, you know, this is like a midpoint in like violence on the screens, real violence, not like, you know, sensationalized fictional violence. I still can't believe how violent it got. It's very strange because I hated Tom the whole way through. Awful human being. Just the way they set him up, the way he's obviously done some really awful things for his when his like end confession dinner with Lily, he's like talking about how when he got fired, even his best friend then like lied and said that the job that was going in his company wasn't available anymore. He's obviously done something really awful that even his friend doesn't want to like vouch for him. He's just a bad person. And he was teed up to be a bad person from the very beginning. But I felt bad for him. I felt bad for him when she locked him outside. I felt really bad for him. Which, again, proves Lily's switched on. Lily's smart. I wouldn't have been able to orchestrate all of that nonsense. The getting him to, like, board up the window first so that he couldn't, like, break in. And then also her subtle dig of being like, why is he trying to break down the door that Sam made when that's done really well? Why isn't he trying to take down the boards that he put up that are kind of bad? I really hated him, and I hated the way he like used his strength against the girls. I think that's also something that really resonated with me and made me feel a bit sick, honestly. Because I hate the idea that any random man can overpower you if he wants to. Horrifying. That's the real horror in this book, because it's real. It's real life, and I hate it. It makes me want to cry when I think about it. And it's brought up like a few times in the book, and like the boys are, you know, they're basically dying of dehydration, and still they both manage to overpower the girls. Like the scheming that the two girls have done isn't enough to like win out. And the fact that the outside or production clearly wants Tom to win, it crazy. Shows again where their society is on how they view people at the moment, because at the moment, for their moment, in that their production have like skewed the tasks for Tom's favor. So obviously production and the people outside are rooting for Tom to win. Rooting for him to win. It feels like, I mean, who knows? For all we know, the people want Lily to win, but production wants Tom to win because of some, like, whatever political message they're trying to do, or whatever's going on, or whoever he knows in the inside. I, in the beginning, kind of suspected that Tom knew someone in production, just based on the way he was talking, the way he was going about. I just had a feeling. He was an inside guy. It could be because if for some reason, every so often he reminds me of Mauricio. Is that his name? The guy from Big Brother. In my circle of people, it was clear everyone wanted Ali to win, but it was so obvious that who owns Big Brother now? ITV? Yeah, ITV wanted Mauricio? I can't remember, it's been too long now. They clearly wanted him to win, and then it was found out that didn't he have like some slight connection to ITV as well? Yeah, and they played his song on the show, so I'm feeling like they're the same person, and yeah, I just where was I going? So production or the public wanted Tom to win. They watched him drown someone. They watched him, did he cheat? Yeah, he cheated on the girl he was with. He was so possessive and weird over that other girl who was then obviously young. She was, 17? And I'm sure the public would have figured it out at some point. There's no way they wouldn't have. They would be like scouring the internet and like working it out. He's definitely the brand of guy that sees like women as his like property. And didn't he say to her he doesn't even like women that much? She's the girl sleeping in his bed, so she belongs to him. And ew. So in the really roundabout way, what I was saying, I hate Tom, but I did feel bad for him when he was locked outside. I felt really bad for him. I felt really bad for him when she threw all the chemicals in his eyes and he couldn't see. And I don't know why, because I hated that man. Hated him. But yeah, I still felt quite, I don't know. It's not nice to hear about someone getting blinded, I suppose. About the being afraid of being outside. First of all, that's so evil of Lily. And secondly, Why, at some point, did I think that we were going to find out that Tom killed the extra guy? They had one more guy, and he never made it to the compound. And Tom has this, like, bone of the dog that he killed, and I was convinced. I was like, Tom murdered that other guy. He killed someone. He killed someone before they entered the compound. He was the only one who was on his own, or maybe it wasn't even another guy. Maybe there was an extra contestant that we never found out about. Maybe there was supposed to be more guys than girls entering the villa, and it would have been a guy that was kicked out instead of being a girl kicked out in the first night. So my theory was that I think it wasn't a dog that Tom killed. Tom woke up in the desert, had found his person, because everyone finds someone first. And I think production would have set it up so everyone found someone first. And the person Tom found, something happened, and he killed him. Would they have let him stay in the show? I wouldn't think so, but they let him stay for doing other things. And I think that he is the production, like, whatever it's called, plant. So I think he killed a guy. I just had so much fun. I genuinely had so much fun reading this. The drama was so good. You know what I loved about the book as well? I loved the little tasks that they had to do in their tablets. They're like main tasks that they had to do, and then their little bonus ones they also had to do to get the stuff. I thought it was just so much fun. I think that's just like the Big Brother person in me as well. I love a task. I love a shopping task. I love a secret mission. My favorite thing in Big Brother episodes is a secret mission, and this show is basically all secret missions, so I thought it was great. Even just the little ones of like where the producers are obviously meddling, and that's their only way to like meddle in what's going on. And yeah, like the one where Lily has to just like wear someone else's outfit without asking, and little things like, oh, when they got her to talk to Sam, loved it. And the one where they gave her the task to like go shower outside when they knew that Ryan was like having sex with the other girl outside. Devious is devious. I thought it was great. I haven't even talked couples. Let's talk couples. So Lily is with Ryan first, and they're the initial couple that we get, which Ryan chooses Lily. Lily does not choose Ryan. Lily is with Ryan because Ryan chose her, and I find that so infuriating because it's absolutely what I would have done in that situation. And I hate that about myself. And yeah, it was just like, yeah, whoever happens to get into her bed is who she chooses. But she had all the power. She was the one who was voted the most attractive. Why she did not go after the person that she wanted is so infuriating, because of how much I would have done exactly the same. That's why I didn't like it. It's not subtle that Ryan only likes Lily because of how she looks. And also the social currency, I think, of how she looks, because I think if Lily wasn't voted the most attractive, Ryan probably wouldn't have went for her. Ryan went for her because the rest of the boys told him that she was the most attractive. That's what people do, kind of, you know? Like, I get it. But also, he didn't like anything else about her, which... awful. Really disliked Ryan. It was a different dislike than Tom, because Tom I really hated. Whereas Ryan, I was just like, ugh, you're pathetic. Yeah, he's just a bit, bless him, he's not got much going on in his brain, has he? It's just like that, symbols. And I thought it was really funny that the way Sam kind of had like a dig and got to Lily was by emulating the way that Ryan was and giving her this really like surface level compliment in that task they all had to do, where they had to like line up and give each other compliments, and he's basically just acting like Ryan. The ultimate insult is to just act like Ryan. I loved Sam so much. It was just the perfect recipe for me specifically, because I love couples who are being like watched. So it's the fact that they're on a TV show and I'm aware that other people are watching them, perfect. But also the fact that the other people in the compound are also clocking that Sam likes Lily. It's, for me, that's my favorite thing. It's my favorite trope in books is when other people notice that someone is like obsessed with someone else. It's at the cost of the other girl who's with Sam. But also, I don't feel too bad about that, because one, she thinks she's better than everyone else, because she thinks she's like going into the compound as like this undercover journalist, because she's like actually an intellectual, and she's It's such a 17-year-old person move to be like, I'm going to lie about my age and get into the compound where all these vapid people are who want fame, and I'm going to be, you know, better than them. You're doing it too. It's like those guys on TikTok who do the like dance as if they're like the girl, when it's like, you just wanted to do the dance. That's okay. It's okay to just want to do the dance. Just say that. You don't have to make fun of the girls doing the dance. So yeah, I feel bad that Sam left her. And again, she was 17, so yeah, they shouldn't have been together anyway. But yeah, that bit of her telling the other girls that Sam is like watching someone else was just so good. It was so good. I just love that Sam wasn't introduced right away. And I was then so shocked that one, they got together as early as they did, which then makes sense because I was horrified that he left. He left. So we have like a third with Lily and Ryan where we're kind of like this, you know, tension with Sam, but he's like barely around. But that's perfect for me. I love it when the love interest is barely there. And then we've got the middle third, which is like Lily and Sam together. It's great. I love it. And then Sam leaves. He leaves her and she's on her own with these crazy people, with these men. Why? Why? It was great. It was good because I think if Sam had to stay to the very end, I maybe would have got tired of Sam. But because I was denied of Sam, I loved him even more. But I can't believe he left her. I cannot believe it, like, and again, this is me falling into like the man-woman thing where like I just kind of I just wanted him to protect her. I wanted him to stay to make sure that she was all right. I get doing things for yourself, protecting your peace, but oh my god, it was just because Tom was there. If Tom wasn't there, fair enough, leave. But like, I don't know if I could have left her. And even like the friend, it was actually two of Lily's friends voluntarily left, and I don't know how I could have left someone in that situation with Tom. Yeah, save yourself, I guess. And if Lily's never gonna leave, she's never gonna leave. Like, how long do you stay in an awful situation just to like be the guardian of a girl who wants to drown? I don't know. But yeah, I wanted Sam to protect her. And then at the end when she gets the phone and she rings her mum and it's this just nonsense conversation, and I felt so bad for her. If I was on a show and I got a phone call and my mum rang me while I was on the show, it would have been hours. We would have been talking for hours. She wouldn't be like, okay, I gotta go now. Oh, you still on that thing? Oh, okay, cool. My mum would be like, listen, this is the rundown, okay? This is what people think you. This is what's going on. This is what's happened. These people are doing this on the outside. This is doing this. You should be doing this and this and this, and ask for this and get me that thing. Like, if I was on the show and I was at the stage where I could just ask for anything I want, the phone call would be my mum being like, you gotta get me some stuff. I was so annoyed at her mum just not caring, and then it kind of really does put it into perspective why she's got no one to rush back to, because she thinks Sam is gone. The friends at work don't like her. Her mum just is not interested in her as a person at all, which must be so disheartening. And then the saviour is then a couple of days later, the phone rings, it's a voice message from Sam. If you were on the show and you won and you reached the end and you could like basically ask for whatever you want and have it delivered to you, what would you ask for? Because that's what I'm really curious about, because I, in my head, think I'd be asking for like a bunch of things that are just like straight money things that I can sell, but I don't know if I would be doing that in the real situation. If I intended to live on the compound for as long as possible, I would probably ask for like a sewing machine and some material, bougie material, which I don't normally get to buy. An overlocker. It's a machine that does like serging. I'm not sure if it's called a serger or an overlocker. I think they're the same thing. But it does like the professional seams that you see on your clothes. Right now I have to like do an overlocking foot, so it like stitches around on my regular machine. It's not as satisfying. Anyway, I'd ask for that. I don't know if they would give you like a PC. I would want a PC, and I would want The Sims, all the expansion packs, because that's just not achievable for me. I should be dreaming bigger, but I just want a good PC with The Sims, and probably I'd like Baldur's Gate 3 because I can't play that because I don't have a PC. A sword. They probably, no, they'd give me a sword. What am I going to do with a sword? It's just me. Yeah. I'd want one of those like big coffee machines that you get in like cafes so that I can have my go at like being a barista for myself. This is again where I'm falling into the trap of being no better than the people in the book. Paints. I'd like paints. I'd like oil paints because that feels like out of my budget, and I didn't have to probably ask for a book on how to use oil paints. I'd probably ask for one of those big like buggies that people bring to the beach with the big sturdy wheels, and fill it with my gaming PC and my sewing machine and all of my clothes that I sewed. I'm also hilarious that in this like hypothetical where I can ask for anything I want the ability to make clothes myself and not like the designer pieces. I would probably ask for some like designer clothing, I'd imagine, and like really good shoes, really cool like gold rings, I think is what I would like. And then some like gold bars I can put in the bug. Oh my god, no, I want the I want that like weird violin, cello, guitar thing that they use to score House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones. That's my last request. I don't know what it's called, but it's like a guitar, but it's upright, but it's got frets, and you play it with a bow. I want that because I played the cello when I was younger, and I kind of play the guitar now. And I saw it the other day, and I was like, that looks so cool. And a bunch of gold bars I can put for my mum. That's my thing. What would you ask for? I need to know. Would you just be like doing straight up like as much cash as you can like get out of there, like you just asking for like things on resale value, or are you asking for things that are like inaccessible to you or things that you've always wanted to try? Or is it like, yeah, museum pieces that you shouldn't be able to have access to? You're like, I want this very niche thing that there's only like 2 versions of in the world. You know what else I'd want? A physical copy of this book, a paperback copy of this book that I can put on my shelf. That's my last thing. Yeah, I had so much fun. I loved this book so much. I have been talking for probably too long. In my head, this was going to be like a 10-minute video. Who knows how long it's going to be? I'm not sure. It says 62 minutes up on my camera. That's not good. Please let me know your thoughts. What was your favourite part of the book? I'd love to know that. I don't even know what mine is. I really like the bit where Sam beat up Tom, and I also really like the bit where Lily and her friend almost kissed. I think those are my top bits. Oh, and when we find out that everyone's been sleeping with everyone else. That was so good. Yeah, I love the drama. So let me know, what was your favourite bit? And would you go on the show? And what are you bringing if you win? Asking for? What are you asking for if you win? What are you taking out of the villa? The compound, not the villa. Legally, this is not called the villa. Okay, bye.